The wrench slips, your knuckles hit the transmission housing, you're bleeding, and the German machine guns just opened up again 200 yards away, sweeping no man's land in patterns you've memorized for the past 6 hours. You're lying on your back under 68 tons of broken Tiger tank. It's April 21st, 1943, Tunisia. You're a British mechanic. You have 4 hours until dawn. The Germans are coming to take this tank back, and you just broke the only tool that can remove the final drive assembly. This is not a recovery operation. This is theft. You're stealing the most advanced tank in the world by fixing it faster than Germany can reach it. Your name is Doug Hunt. You're 23 years old. You're a truck mechanic from Glasgow, and you're about to do something that will change tank warfare forever. Before we dive into one of the most audacious mechanical heists of World War II, if you enjoy learning about the forgotten engineers who changed the course of battles, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more content like this. And comment below to let me know where you're watching, for I find it incredible that we're exploring these stories together, connected across time and space by our shared fascination with the unsung heroes of history. The mistake happened 16 hours ago. You weren't the one who made it, but you're the one who has to fix it. Yesterday morning, April 20th, a German Tiger I tank, 131, 504th Heavy Panzer Battalion, was rolling through the Tunisian hills near Jebel Jaffa. Its crew was confident. They had reason to be. The Tiger I was invincible. 2 years into the war, an Allied tank still couldn't penetrate its frontal armor. The British called it the Beast. American tankers called it the Coffin Maker. The Germans called it unbeatable. They were wrong. A British Churchill tank, vastly inferior in every measurable way, got lucky. One shot. The round hit the Tiger's right track. Not the armor, not the engine. Just the track. The track snapped. The Tiger stopped. The crew bailed out. They ran. They abandoned 68 tons of Germany's most advanced military technology in the middle of no man's land. For 16 hours, this Tiger has been sitting there, broken, exposed, priceless. The Germans want it back. They've tried twice. Both times, British artillery drove them off, but they're not giving up. They can't. This isn't just a tank. This is a secret. The Tiger's armor composition, its transmission design, its gun mechanics, all of it is classified at the highest level. If the Allies get their hands on this machine intact, they'll know everything. Every weakness, every flaw, every way to kill it. That's where you come in. Your full title is Staff Sergeant Douglas Hunt, Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, REME. The mechanics, the guys who keep the war machine running while everyone else gets the glory. You're 23 years old. Before the war, you were a truck mechanic in Glasgow. You fixed lorries, buses, the occasional tractor. You were good at it, not brilliant. Good. You could diagnose an engine problem by sound. You could rebuild a transmission with your eyes closed, but you were never special, just competent. Just another working-class kid who was good with his hands. Then the war came. The army needed mechanics. They needed thousands of them. You volunteered. You figured it would be safer than the infantry. You were right, mostly. REME doesn't fight. REME fixes. You're not supposed to be under fire. You're supposed to be in the rear, in workshops, repairing tanks that come back from the front. But this is North Africa. There is no rear. The front moves every day. And sometimes the thing that needs fixing is sitting in no man's land with German guns pointed at it. Your orders came down 2 hours ago. Simple orders. Clear orders. Assess the Tiger. Report back on whether it's salvageable. You were supposed to look at it, take notes, leave. But when you crawl out to the Tiger under cover of darkness, when you climbed inside and looked at the damage, something clicked in your brain. The track was broken. Yes. But the Tiger itself, the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain all intact. This wasn't a wreck. This was a puzzle. And you've been solving puzzles like this since you were 14 years old. You made a decision that wasn't yours to make. You're going to fix it. You're going to repair a German Tiger tank in the middle of a battlefield, and you're going to drive it back to British lines before dawn. Your commanding officer doesn't know. Your unit doesn't know. The Germans definitely don't know, but they're about to find out. Let's be clear about what you're lying under. The Tiger I is not a tank, in the way the British Army understands tanks. British tanks are mobile, fast, lightly armored, built for maneuver. The philosophy is speed and numbers overwhelm the enemy with many cheap tanks. The Tiger is the opposite philosophy. It is a fortress on tracks. Weight, 68 tons. A Sherman weighs 33 tons. Armor, 100mm frontal plate. Sherman has 50mm. Gun, 88mm, KK-36. Sherman has 75mm. Engine, 700 horsepower, Maybach V12. Sherman has 400 horsepower radial. Cost, 250,000 Reichsmarks. A Panzer IV costs 103,000. Those aren't just statistics, those are warnings. The Tiger was designed to fight 5 enemy tanks at once and win, and it did. The Tiger's combat record in North Africa, 9-to-1 kill ratio. For every Tiger lost, 9 Allied tanks died. But here's what the numbers don't tell you. The Tiger is a mechanical nightmare. It's over-engineered. The transmission is so complex, it requires 30 hours of maintenance for every 10 hours of operation. The overlapping road wheels designed to distribute the weight trap mud and rocks, freezing solid in winter. The engine guzzles fuel, 300 liters per 100 kilometers. It's less than 1 mile per gallon. The Tiger is brilliant and stupid at the same time. German engineers built a tank that could destroy anything on the battlefield, but they also built a tank that destroyed itself through complexity. You know this because you studied the intelligence reports. REME has been collecting fragments of Tiger armor, pieces of destroyed Tigers, any scrap they could analyze. But fragments aren't the same as the real thing. Fragments don't tell you how the transmission works. Fragments don't reveal the tolerances, the weak points, the ways to kill it. This Tiger, the one you're lying under right now, is intact. Completely intact. The only damage is a broken track. Everything else works. If you can fix this, if you can get it running, British engineers will have the complete blueprint. They'll know how to beat it. But first, you have to survive the next 4 hours. You crawl out from under the Tiger. You need to see the damage in person. The moon is bright tonight. Too bright. You're exposed. But you need light to work. The right track is shredded. The Churchill's shot hit the track pin. The steel rod that holds the track links together. The pins snapped. When the Tiger tried to move, the track separated. 20 tons of steel track, 96 individual links, now lying in a tangled mess in the dirt. This is the kind of damage that requires a recovery vehicle, a massive crane, a crew of 6, 8 hours minimum. You have 4 hours, no crane, no crew, just you. You walk around the Tiger taking inventory. The left track is fine, the road wheels are fine. The drive sprockets are fine, the idler wheels are fine. Everything is fine except for 15 feet of destroyed track on the right side. In your head, you're doing the math. Each track link weighs 50 pounds. You need to remove 20 broken links, replace them with good links from somewhere, reconnect the track, and tension it properly. With the right equipment, this is difficult. Without equipment, this is impossible. You look around no man's land. 300 yards to the west, there's a destroyed Panzer IV. 200 yards to the north, there's a burned-out Panzer III. 50 yards behind you, there's a British Churchill, the one that shot the Tiger, now a smoking wreck after German return fire. You need parts. The Panzers have tracks, German tracks. Different design than the Tiger, but the pins might be compatible. Maybe. The machine guns open up again. You drop flat. The tracers arc overhead, bright green lines cutting through the darkness. They're not aiming at you specifically. They're just sweeping, standard defensive fire, every 90 seconds, like clockwork. You time it. Fire starts. Fire stops. 90 seconds of silence. Fire starts again. You have 90-second windows to work. That's the rhythm. That's the constraint. You crawl back under the Tiger. You pull out your tools. Standard British mechanics kit, wrenches, hammers, pry bars, wire cutters. Nothing fancy, nothing designed for this. You start with the broken track links. You need to remove them before you can install new ones. The track pins are held in place by a locking mechanism, a spring-loaded clip that prevents the pin from sliding out. German engineering. Overcomplicated. You find the clip. You try to release it. It won't budge. The metal is bent from the impact. You pull out a pry bar. You wedge it in. You push. The clip snaps off. Good. One down. 19 to go. The machine guns start again. You freeze. The bullets hit the ground 30 yards to your left. Dirt sprays up. Then silence. You keep working. You're not guessing about the German recovery attempt. You know it's coming. British reconnaissance heard the radio chatter. German command ordered a recovery team to extract the Tiger at first light. That's standard doctrine. Night recovery is too risky, too easy to get ambushed. So they wait for dawn. Dawn gives them visibility. Dawn gives them air support if needed. Dawn is in 4 hours. If the Germans reach this Tiger first, you lose. They'll tow it back behind their lines. They'll repair it. They'll put it back in service, and the Allies will learn nothing. If you get this Tiger running before dawn, you win. You drive it back to British lines. Engineers will dismantle it, study it, learn from it, and every Tiger the Germans field after this will be easier to kill. But there's a third option, the worst option. If you can't fix it and the Germans get close, British artillery has orders to destroy it, blow it up, ensure the Germans can't recover it. That's the fail-safe. Better to destroy it than let Germany keep it. You're racing against two timers, dawn, and the moment British command decides you failed, you work faster. The track pins are coming out now. Slowly. Each one requires 5 minutes of prying, hammering, cursing. Your hands are torn up. The skin on your knuckles is gone. Blood makes the tools slippery. You wipe your hands on your uniform. You keep going. 3 pins out, 17 to go. You hear something. A sound. Not machine guns. Engines. Distant engines. North. German lines. You freeze. You listen. The sound fades. False alarm. Maybe they're staging the recovery vehicles, getting ready for the dawn push. You can't think about that. You focus on the work, 1 pin at a time. By hour 2, you've removed all the damaged track links, 20 links, 1,000 pounds of broken steel. You've dragged them away from the Tiger, cleared the workspace. Now comes the hard part, finding replacement links. You crawl toward the destroyed Panzer IV. The machine guns sweep again. You time it. You move during the 90-second silence windows. You reach the Panzer. It's a burned-out shell. The crew is still inside, dead, charred. You don't look at them. You focus on the track. The Panzer IV track is different from the Tiger track. Narrower, lighter, but the pin design is similar. You pull out a broken link from the Panzer. You compare it to a Tiger link. Close. Not identical, but close. You need 20 replacement links. The Panzer IV track has maybe 50 intact links. You start removing them. Each link requires the same process. Find the clip, pry it, remove the pin, separate the link. It's slower without proper light. You work by feel. You hear voices. German voices. Close. Maybe 400 yards. Maybe closer. You can't tell. Sound travels strangely at night. You freeze. You wait. The voices fade. You keep working. You remove 15 links from the Panzer IV. Not enough. You need 5 more. You crawl to the Panzer III. Farther away. Riskier. But you need those links. The Panzer III is in worse shape. Artillery hit it. The turret is blown off, but the tracks are intact. You start removing links. The process is automatic now. Your hands know what to do. Pry, hammer, pull. Pry, hammer, pull. Pry, hammer, pull. You get 5 more links, 20 total. Enough? You drag them back toward the Tiger. Each link weighs 50 pounds. You can only carry 2 at a time. 10 trips. The machine guns sweep overhead twice during the hauling. You flatten yourself in the dirt. You wait. You continue. By hour 3, all 20 replacement links are stacked next to the Tiger's broken track. Now comes the hardest part. Installation. Here's what the German maintenance manual says about track installation. Track installation requires a minimum crew of 4 technicians and 1 SD-Kraft 9 recovery vehicle. Installation time, 6-8 hours. You have yourself no recovery vehicle. 1 hour left before dawn. You start with the easy part, laying out the track. You unroll the 20 replacement links, line them up with the gaps in the existing track. The links don't fit perfectly. The Panzer IV pins are 2 mm narrower than Tiger pins. In a proper workshop, you'd machine new pins to spec. Here, you improvise. You take wire from the Churchill wreck, thick steel wire, the kind used for camouflage netting. You wrap the wire around each pin, building up the diameter. It's crude. It won't last 100 miles, but it only needs to last 2 miles, the distance back to British lines. You feed the first replacement link into place. You align the holes. You hammer the pin through. The wire-wrapped pin jams halfway. Too thick. You pull it out. You remove one layer of wire. You try again. It slides through. Not smooth, but through. One link installed. 19 to go. The machine guns sweep. You're under the Tiger now, protected by 68 tons of armor. The bullets ping off the hull. You keep working. Your hands are shaking. Not from fear, from exhaustion. You've been working for 3 hours straight. No water, no food. Just adrenaline and stubbornness. Link 2, link 3, link 4. You develop a rhythm. Each link takes 7 minutes. You do the math. 19 links remaining. 7 minutes each, 133 minutes. 2 hours and 13 minutes. Dawn is in 52 minutes. You're not going to make it. You work faster. You skip steps. You don't wrap the pins as carefully. You hammer harder, forcing the pins through even when they jam. You'll fix it properly later. Right now, you need speed. Link 5, link 6, link 7. Your wrench snaps. The handle breaks clean off. That's the wrench you've been using for 3 hours. The one you've relied on. Gone. You stare at the broken tool. Your brain is too tired to panic. You switch to a smaller wrench. Slower, but it works. Link 8, link 9, link 10. The sky is getting lighter. Not sunrise yet, but the pre-dawn glow. The darkness is fading. You hear engines again, closer this time. Definitely closer. North. The Germans are moving. The engines are getting louder. You can identify them now. SDKFs, 9 half-tracks. The same recovery vehicles you need but don't have. The Germans have 3 of them, maybe 4. You can hear them rumbling through the valley, approaching the Tiger's position. You're on link 14. 6 links to go. The machine gun fire stops. That's worse than the firing. Silence means they're repositioning. Silence means they're preparing to move. You hammer faster. The pins are going in crooked now. You don't care. Crooked pins work. Straight pins work. You just need them in. Link 15. Link 16. The sky is pale blue now. Dawn. You can see your hands. You can see the Tiger. You can see the German lines 400 yards north. Tiny figures moving. Link 17. A flare goes up. Red flare. German's signal. It means the recovery team is moving out. You have maybe 10 minutes before they reach you. Maybe less. Link 18. Your hands won't stop shaking. You drop the pin. It falls under the Tiger. You crawl after it, groping in the dirt. You find it. You crawl back out. Link 19. One more. One more link, and the track is complete. But then you need to tension it. Tensioning takes 20 minutes minimum. You don't have 20 minutes. You look north. You can see them clearly now. 3 Kaischlis, 9 half-tracks, rumbling across the dirt. They're 800 yards away, moving at 15 miles per hour. You do the math. 3 minutes until they're in rifle range. 5 minutes until they reach the Tiger. Link 20. You hammer the final pin through. It's in. The track is complete. Not pretty, not regulation, but complete. You don't tension it. No time. You just pray it holds. You crawl out from under the Tiger. You're covered in grease, blood, dirt. You climb up the hull. You drop into the turret. The interior smells like German soldiers' cigarettes, sweat, gun oil. You've never driven a Tiger before. You've never driven any German tank. You've studied the manuals, the intelligence reports. But reading about it isn't the same as doing it. You find the driver's seat. You sit. The controls are different from British tanks. The steering is different. The gearbox is different. Everything is different. You look at the instrument panel. It's all in German. Qualisar Temperatur, Uldruck, Kraftstoffvorrat. You don't speak German, but you speak machine. You understand gauges. You find the starter. You press it, nothing. You press it again, nothing. The battery is dead. Of course the battery is dead. The Tiger has been sitting for 16 hours. The battery's drained. German tanks have a design flaw: the battery's drained if the master switch isn't turned off. The crew bailed out in panic. They didn't turn off the master switch. You look at the approaching half-tracks, 2 minutes away now. Maybe less. You need to jumpstart the Tiger. But jumpstarting requires another vehicle. You don't have another vehicle. The Churchill is destroyed. The Panzers are destroyed. Everything is destroyed. Your brain is running on fumes, but you think. The Tiger has 2 batteries, 12-volt batteries in series, 24-volt system. If one battery is dead, maybe the other has charge. If you can isolate the good battery, manually crank the engine. But German tanks don't have hand cranks. The Maybach engine is too large. You can't hand crank 700 horsepower. You look around the turret: tools, emergency equipment, fire extinguisher, ammunition, rations, signal flares. You have an idea. It's insane. But you're out of options. You grab 3 signal flares from the storage rack. German signal flares are different from British flares. They burn hotter, longer, more magnesium. You climb back out of the turret. You open the engine deck. The Maybach V12 is massive, filling the entire rear compartment. You find the batteries. 2 batteries mounted side by side. You disconnect the dead battery. You pull it out: 80 pounds of useless lead and acid. You throw it aside. You take the 3 signal flares. You wire them